Okay, so the latest news on BBC is that the Congolese president Félix Tshisekedi has compared the Rwandan president Kagame to Hitler. And according to the story, is that Félix Tshisekedi said Paul Kagame was behaving like Hitler and added that I promise he will end up like Hitler. And he said this when he was doing campaigning for re-election, and he was addressing a rally in Bukavu, which is a city close to the Rwandan border. This city is actually located on the southern tip of the Lake Kivu region, and you know there's violence in Kivu, and we maybe he was saying this because he's campaigning. You know, you have to African leaders do that a lot. They pretend to come to solve your problem. So when they come to Kivu, because there's this fighting going on there, that is a point of a topic of discussion. Now it's all over the place. It's not just BBC. It's also on African news. They covered it here, and they said Congo's president compares Rwanda's Paul Kagame to Hitler, and he said actually that he said the president of Congo, Felix Tshisekedi, on Friday, he compared his Rwandan counterpart Paul Kagame to Adolf Hitler and his expansionist aims. And this is what he said verbatim: I'm going to address the Rwandan president Paul Kagame and tell him this. Since he wanted to behave like Adolf Hitler by having expansionist aims in Congo, I promise to end up like Adolf Hitler, he said. So maybe for that, some of you who don't know what he means, I'm going to give you a bit or a background on the history of Hitler. So Hitler was actually born in Austria. It's a country, not Australia, Austria. It's a country there in Europe next to Germany, on the eastern side of Germany. And he's a German, you know, ethnicity is a German. So he moved to German and joined the army, and that's how he acquired the German citizenship. But then after that, he started, of course, you know how he came to power, right? And after he became the chancellor in 1936, he started saying that since people in Austria spoke the German, Austria should become part of German, the Greater Germany. So he annexed Austria, and that's how they moved into Austria unopposed, and they took Austria. And after that, there's another country on the eastern side of Germany. I think it's called the Czech Republic, the Czech. Uh, and he said the western part of Czech speaks German, or there are German people there. And so he said they need to take Czech as well. So the next time in that 1939, they rolled into Czechoslovakia and took, you know, the whole of Czech Republic. And after that, he said, oh, wait, do you know that Poland has a huge chunk of land with German speakers that was stolen from German during the First World War? We need to go to Poland. So he again invaded Poland, rolled into the capital Warsaw, and took over the whole of Poland. But during that time also, the Soviets came in to take the eastern part of Poland. But after doing that, in Poland, he found people they didn't like. The Jews. Poland had a good number of Jews, a lot of them actually. And then they had communists, people who are communist. And the Germans didn't like those. So they started what you know as the Holocaust. They started kind of, you know, killing these people. So Felix Tshisekedi is saying the same thing. And I'm going to explain to you. Rwanda has been trying to expand into Congo. I mean, everyone says that. We have seen it. Because Rwanda, you can go to the map and look how tiny Rwanda is. It's so tiny. It's like a district in most countries in Africa. It's like actually the district where I come from, personally. And where I come from, the district is itself, has a total population of, we just hit 1 million people. Actually, I'm sure we haven't yet gotten to 1 million. We're about 800,000 in our district, the size of Rwanda. And nowadays we call them counties. It's a county. But then you find Rwanda has the same size, and they have a population of 13.5 million. So almost 10 times what most regions in Africa are. So they are heavily populated, and they want to move their population elsewhere. But to do that, they are invading Congo because it's huge, and they assume it has space. But there's a way they can do it without fighting. They can negotiate with Congo and join East African community, remove barriers like visas and passports, and then Rwandan people can easily relocate to Congo, because that's what East Africa wants to do. That if you are from East Africa and you have peace in all the 8 countries, a Somali can come to Kenya and live there and work there. No one will ask the Somali to pay for resident permits, things like that. And a Kenyan can go to Tanzania. Tanzania can move to Uganda and so on. So the same thing could be done. Rwanda could easily move to Congo. The people in Rwanda can move to Congo. They can go to Kenya, which they have already done. They have gone to Uganda. Uganda has close to 2 million Rwandans, and they are working and paying taxes in Uganda. So Kagame should not use the gun to unload the huge population they have. He just have to be peaceful in East Africa now that Congo has accepted to join. And then people will move easily to this part of Congo, and they live there with the Congolese people, and no one will ask them to go back to Rwanda. But when you tell the people go there carrying an AK-47, Congolese people will now start fighting Rwandans. And that is what is happening. Wazalendo guys there, they will never forget that. Even if the leaders accept peace, the locals will never forget that. They will always kill these Rwandans, because you come to my home carrying a knife, bro. You think now I'm going to forget that? And you're not just carrying the knife, you're coming to stab me, to kick me out of my home. So anyway, I don't want to make this video longer than I should. In other news is that the South Sudanese have also followed the Kenyans to leave Congo, the 350. So as you can see from these photos, they were leaving from Friday and I think yesterday. And today in the morning, the Ugandans, part of ICRAF, also have started leaving Ruchuru. The 2,000 Ugandan soldiers, the ones who are in Ruchuru, they were seen today going across the Ugandan border of Bunagana, and they have left Congo. So before the end of this week, the whole of East African Community Regional Force will have left Congo, and M23 is taking advantage of that, assuming that after these troops leave, there's a gap. So the M23 are taking advantage of these withdrawing troops. For example, in Bambo, which is the town near the region where the Ugandans were, they're in control of that town, and also, of course, Kishishe. And actually, the Ugandans are even leaving behind some equipment. I've seen some of the communication tools that the Ugandans have left for M23 that were captured by Wazalendo, the local militias that are fighting M23. And then in the south, M23 was sent a group of them to try to capture this territory of Mishaki. They tried that on Wednesday, and they failed because there was a heavy presence of the Congolese army, FRDC. And the FRDC have been around Sake, this town here, for a while now. And the M23 cannot break that defense. They are what they say in military dug in. They are dug in. So the defensive here around Sake and the territory around it was too much for them. So what they did is that they now moved south to encircle the FRDC, hoping to encircle the FRDC. And they came to this area called Shasha, the town. It's like a center, and the region around it is what we call the Bahunde territory, or Kiroche. And according to the reports we're getting from Kiroche hospital, there have been about 20 civilians, villagers who have come to the hospital with bullets. Apparently, M23 is shooting from some of these hills. There's a hill that they had taken position called Ngingwe Hill, and the other hills there. So they were shooting civilians. So imagine you're coming from maybe school here, or you're coming from the market, and as you pass on your bicycle or you're walking, someone from the hill or up here starts shooting at you. So that is terrorism act. For a while, we've been saying these Rwandan proxies are actually terrorists in Congo. I mean, it's the same thing that Hitler was doing in Poland. You come in and then you start shooting civilians. So I think the Congolese president was right to say that his counterpart in Rwanda is behaving like Hitler. I don't know. You tell me in the comment section below, and don't get too emotional. So that is what is happening. The M23 have been trying to basically capture this town of Sake so that they can try to cut off supply to the soldiers that are in Masisi, the FRDC, but they are not able to get close to Sake. They're being repulsed. They even tried to take Mushaki, but they were not able to proceed. And Mushaki is actually on a road that comes from Rubaya and Masisi. So it's a road, as you can see from here, coming here. They also try to come down here. They are not able to go past Burungu because this is the territory of the Wazalendo. So as they try to outflank and encircle again, they are losing a lot of their fighters actually in the process. And that's why they are coming to villages like Shasha and killing innocent villagers.